Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Doctor. How are you? Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, I just want to let you know we are recording this, so there's no worries. We can relax, and I will be doing a little piece that'll go around it that'll have the information on the show and the times and all that. You won't hear it, but I promise you it will be there for you, all right?
Good. Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Let's get in it. Before we get into the whole relationship thing overall, let's talk about the show. Tell me about Exile and how this whole thing works.
So here's how it works, right? Exile is a dating docu-series, and we take 5 former couples, and we follow them as they try to break free from their tumultuous relationships and try to move on and find new love. Optimum word in that sentence is try, because they're not doing a very good job of it so far.
But how do you set it up? I mean, do they know they're going into this? Do they understand what the situation is and they're willing to give it a try, or is it a little surprise here for them?
So we spring a lot of surprises on them, and the first surprise was me. They get there and they think I'm the bartender, but then the next day they realize, oh, no, by the way, he's actually going to be your therapist to help you break up. And the first word everybody screams is, therapy? I don't need any therapy.
So how does it work out in the long run? I mean, do people, obviously they go through a period of self-discovery here, but are there some cases where the couples actually work things out, or are there others where they things get worse?
Now, I think we're going to see a little bit of both. Now, I can't spill the beans, but I can tell you this. There was one couple in particular I was really rooting for to work things out. That was Sean and Samantha, because they had been married, and they had a little boy to think of in the situation. So I was like, there's some love here. If there's a way to work this out, and that's what you guys feel like you want to do, then we'll give you the tools to do that. For our 4 other ex-couples, we got to seeing that, wow, not only was there nothing left, but what was left was just pure drama. And so we gave them some tools to try to move forward. Optimal word, try, because they fought us the whole way.
Let's move into the whole relationship thing. I'm kind of curious, because one of the things that was pointed out when I was first introduced to you is the fact that this time of year is bad. Why is January breakup month?
Well, January is breakup month because of a new beginning. It's a new year and it's a new you, and we take an inventory of all the things that went wrong in our last year, and when we wake up in the morning or look up across from that person, and that's one of the things that went wrong, people decide it's a time to move forward, and spring is right around the corner. We're doing that spring cleaning, right? We're all in tune with that cycle, and so that's why it is. It's easy to do things at the beginning of the year and just make a fresh start when you know that it's time to move on.
Well, all that being said, Doctor, we're also getting your Valentine's Day around the corner as well. Isn't that a time where people actually feel pressured to be in a relationship and maybe make some mistakes that they normally wouldn't make just because of the feeling that they have to be with somebody on that day?
You know what? They really, really do. And I would think women do it. And it's been my experience. I see women feel that pressure more so than the guys. Here's the ugly little truth about singles in this country. Half of the women in this country are single, and of them, half of them have not been on a date in over 2 years. So Valentine's Day is a rough time. The question always is, why me? Why am I going to be the old maid? Why can't I find anybody? And so the pressure's on, and so that's a high time for some bad decisions. Got to be careful rolling into Valentine's Day.
Well, with technology as good as it is, with social media so huge in our lives, you'd think it would be so much easier now. Why is it so tough to start over again?
Well, Mike, you know what? With the social media, what we say is we're more connected, right? But think about it. We're really not. There's a lot of emotional distance there. How much are we really getting to know about somebody on Facebook, over Twitter, over Tinder, over emails, and over text? There's something to be said about showing up, sitting across a table from somebody, looking in their eyes, and seeing if we're making a connection and seeing if there's any common interest. And so I think that's the first myth, that we're more connected. We really are not.
Before I let you go, Doctor, let's talk a little bit about the things that will relate directly to people who are out there that maybe are finding themselves nodding as they hear us talk here. What are some tips they can do to avoid either getting back into a bad relationship or starting out wrong? Is there any little things they should keep in mind as they kind of plow through life this way?
Absolutely. So we got, when it comes to getting over the ex and moving forward, the first thing you've got to do is change that love story. Don't tell that breakup story from the point of view of what happened to you or what was done to you or even what didn't happen, right? Tell it from the point of view of how hard it was. This is what I learned, and this is how I got over it. The second tip is keep the blessing and learn the lesson. Every relationship has two parts. The blessing is the part that made you feel great about who you were. It's the laughs. It's the experiences you shared. Keep that. Move forward, but learn the lesson, which is to say, okay, I know I cannot deal with this when it comes to relationships, so that's a deal breaker for me. And then the third tip is fall in love with yourself all over again before you're looking to fall in love with anybody else. Women, takes them an average of 3 months to get over a breakup. For guys, takes us a little bit longer, Mike. Takes us about 9 months. So give yourself that time to get to know yourself and fall in love with yourself all over again. Now you can fully give yourself to that next person when it's time to move forward and find that new love.
Beautiful. Doctor, thank you so much for doing this. I love the show. I think you're an amazing person that really draws people to you on the screen. I hope only the best of luck for you in the future.
Thank
and
you
hopefully
so much,
we'll have a chance to talk again because you're absolutely fascinating. Have a great week.
Every week, every Friday at 10 p.m. right after Marriage Boot Camp Reality starts. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Doctor. Take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.